The pros and cons are not designed to be exhaustive. They're kind of my view on what I think is kind of important and to bear in mind in terms of decision making that you have. In terms of pros for eSignal, this is an integrated charting plus data feed package. So if you don't want to worry about kind of marrying up your charting with your data feed, this is a combined service. The second point is in terms of the data feed coverage is extremely complete. They have a very wide coverage of an extremely large number of markets, plus news feeds that are easily accessible within the same package. There are also quite an extensive list of third-party tools. I've mentioned Advanced Get, all the Ella's kind of software, JanArps, Statware is Case Statware kind of products. All of those are available as add-on tools at a cost within eSignal. And then lastly, in terms of the pros, as I said, very active forum, which is good, and they're also investing in their platform. This platform has kind of moved forward quite a lot in the last 3 or 4 years. Impressive the way they've kept with the times. In terms of cons, the interface is not particularly user-friendly. Yes, you definitely get used to it, but starting out, it's a little bit quirky. Personally, their script language for writing kind of systems and indicators, EFS, is not particularly easy. You can see examples of EFS at the end of some of the trading magazines where people have written different versions of code for EFS, easy language, and so on. And you can compare the complexity of the code using EFS with, for example, easy language. And for me, yes, it works, but some of the looping type things are not as efficient as some of the other kind of script languages out there. Lastly, there are some kind of users complaining about latency and resource hogging issues. Those things really depend on your kind of complexity of your trading, how many charts you have open, how many screens you're using, kind of the data resource and intensiveness in terms of what you're doing in the charting and so on. So worth doing a demo of eSignal before choosing it in order to understand how your particular chart's going to work under that platform. And then lastly, in terms of costs, this really is depending on the length of the subscription. There's only a monthly kind of subscription option, and it ranges from about $165 to $179 per month, and then you're going to get small kind of exchange fees on top of that, depending on kind of the data feeds that you subscribe to. Next package, MetaStock, in terms of pros and cons. Pros, the range of third-party tools is quite extensive for MetaStock. They were one of the first kids off the block, kind of 15 or plus years ago, and so they've had a lot of people kind of follow them and write tools for their particular platform. So you've got things like ETS, all the Walter Bressert indicators and so on. They're all available for MetaStock. They're also pretty good in terms of an extensive data feed and coverage and news. That's because they're part of the Thomson Reuters kind of club now, and they kind of have 2 data feed type of options, but one of those is Thomson Reuters, and that is pretty good in terms of coverage and news items. So although it's a limited number of choices, a couple of those choices are actually pretty comprehensive, and they also have a very active forum. In terms of cons, MetaStock's always been more focused on end of day and equities charting. I think they moved slowly into real-time charting. They were definitely beaten by to the punch by TradeStation in the early days, and I think that's kind of stuck with them a little bit in terms of their development. And frankly, they don't really seem to be investing heavily in this platform, and they really are falling behind. They were a leading platform, and that's why they got acquired by Thomson Reuters, and frankly, from what I've seen in the last 10 years, is they've really not kept up with the game. And in terms of functionality and usability, they got overtaken by eSignal. eSignal used to be a poorer choice than MetaStock, and in my view, eSignal's kind of overtaken them. In terms of cost, there are lifetime kind of deals for buying the package, and I'm talking about the real-time version here. So depending on what kind of version you need, it's about $1,400 to $1,700. Or the pricing for the charting platform alone is $100 per month, and then the data feed cost on top of that. And that can range from something like a $90 a month data feed to $135 per month. And then lastly, don't forget the exchange fees. Next one, MetaTrader. Now MetaTrader is a very kind of specialized piece of software. It's really focused on automated trading, and they have pieces of code that are called Expert Advisor, or EAs, that are kind of pre-built systems that you can buy or download or write yourself in order to do automated trading. It's an extremely kind of fast charting application, very fast in terms of execution, and they kind of made it quite simplified in terms of the way it works, and limited in the way it works, but to get that automated kind of fast execution and fast kind of charting capability. And it's also integrating with a large number of brokers. They tend to be on the small side, the brokers, but they've done a good job of kind of getting arrangements with a large number of brokers. In terms of cons, this is a package that's really focused heavily on Forex, and then they do futures and CFDs. They're planning on the next version, MT5, moving into equities as well, but at the moment the MT4 version doesn't have equities, and they really do have a focus on these kind of, particularly on Forex and also on futures. Fairly limited in terms of time frames. I think there are only 9 different choices in terms of time frames that you can use, and then again the inbuilt indicators are very limited, but it's designed for people to kind of program themselves. Personally, I don't find the script language particularly easy, but if you're a programmer, the programmers love this language, so there's kind of pros and cons in terms of the script language. If you want to spend the time to learn and get up to speed, yes, it's definitely got all the functionality and capability there, but if you're kind of early and new in the game, that's going to be a little bit of a stumbling block. Biggest advantage probably for MetaTrader is a free program. Now, nothing is absolutely free, but the costs of this program are being paid by the broker, and so in terms of the commission or spread you might be paying on your Forex trades, there might be some kind of loading or waiting for using MetaTrader, but one of the biggest advantages is you can just download it straight away and kind of get working if you can. Next option, MultiCharts. Pros in terms of MultiCharts. MultiCharts uses Easy Language, which was a script language originally developed by TradeStation. It's an extremely easy language to use. A lot of people, third-party tools and developers use it, so you get a lot of kind of different add-ons or help on forums, and they have an extremely active MultiCharts forum. And then if you have an Easy Language problem, you can use either the MultiCharts forum or the TradeStation forum in order to kind of figure out answers to your questions. They're extremely clever in terms of being able to mix symbols and different time frames, and then the time frames go down to second charts and all the way up to annual yearly charts. And that ability to mix symbols and time frames, if you're doing kind of multi-market analysis or different time frame analysis, is extremely powerful. They also have an extremely wide range of integration with data feeds and brokers, so if you want all the major data feeds and all the major brokers are kind of provided for there, so that's a kind of a pro in terms of the way they built their system. And then lastly, they're very clever in terms of portfolio backtesting, which is a limitation in quite a few charting programs these days. That allows you to do a portfolio back test of, let's say, 100 different, or the S&P 500 equities. You can run one system on 500 equities simultaneously to generate an equity curve and a performance figures and so on. So that's something that they've got kind of inbuilt that works extremely well. The second one is genetic optimization is kind of inbuilt to the charting platform. Now, that's not something I believe in or follow at all, but for the people who like and love genetic optimization, that's extremely important. And the way the code is written is very smart and very fast, and so all of those things kind of work in its favor. Con side, I mean, to be honest, I really couldn't come up with any. This is a very sophisticated piece of programming. It's kind of TradeStation Plus in many ways, and it's a better piece of kind of charting software on a just straight charting and backtesting level than TradeStation. In terms of cost, there's a lifetime package which is about $1,500, or depending on the length of contract you're willing to sign up, anywhere between $66 and $99 per month. On top of that, you're going to have to pay for a data feed, so that's going to be anywhere from $60 up a month, and their exchange fees as well.